What's good, everyone? This is Pro-Verbs back here again with another video. And today I want to talk about controlling your emotions. This one is primarily for the fellas, but women can get something out of it as well. Listen, we have to learn to keep our emotions under control, because if we're not thinking logical, our emotions, whether you're upset, whether you're depressed, whatever the case may be, it's gonna dictate how you move. You're gonna make the wrong choices, gonna make the wrong decisions if you are under the influence of your emotions. You're unable to think logical once your emotions is high, whether you're too upset, you're aggravated, you're depressed. You gotta keep your emotions in check. And the thing is, when you're in the heat of anything, whether it's anger, sadness, or whatever the case may be, you gotta keep your composure. You gotta learn to keep your composure. Think before you act. Think about what the circumstance may be if you're acting irrational. You got to think about the consequences of what said action will be if you act out on your emotions. Sometimes you got to take time and just reflect on how your life is going. Which direction is your life going? Is it going in the positive direction, or is it going in the negative direction? You know, sometimes as a man, when you're so angry, when you're angry at an individual, sometimes the first thing you think in your mind, you want to get back. You want to get even. But that's not the way to go about things. I mean, we will make mistakes here and there, but at the end of the day, once you're facing a situation, you have a choice to make. And when you're really under that influence of that said emotion, you gotta just take a step back, breathe. Think. You gotta try to think clearly. And I know it's not gonna be easy to think clearly when you're high off of those emotions. A neat thing to do is say this with me. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. What the heck is bothering me? Shout out to Carl Winslow on Family Matters. No, but anyway, all jokes aside though, we have to learn to control our emotions. Sometimes even being too happy. Sometimes we high off those emotions of being too happy, and we do things, we overreact. So that's why I say, when we really high off any type of adrenaline, when you're really upset or really sad, whatever the case is, you gotta try to think clearly. Think about what you're doing. Think about what you're saying. Don't make irrational decisions. And I know some of us been guilty of certain things. You know, when we feel certain ways, some of us may indulge in certain things, such as you want to spend money when you're feeling depressed or something. Sometimes you feel like spending money, buying things that you don't really need is going to satisfy you. But that's not the case. That's not the case. Or sometimes if you're hurt, like you have a girl, you having girl issues, you having problem with your girl, and she hurt your feelings, or she ended the relationship, or whatever the case may be, you gotta really take a step back and say, is it worth it for me to do this? What will the outcome be? You have to really assess every choices that ever come to your mind. You got to make the right decision, the right choice. And sometimes when you're dealing with certain people, sometimes you have to take yourself away for a while. And I know sometimes it may be hard for some people to do because your emotions is all in it. But you gotta think rational. You gotta think rational. You gotta think logical. Some choices we may make, it's just plain stupid. Honestly, it's just stupid. It doesn't make sense, and it's not gonna make the situation any better. So I encourage you to think clearly before you make that decision when you're really high off those emotions that's going on in you. Think about the consequence that may happen. Think before you act. You know, sometimes you take yourself away and then do certain things to clear your mind. Whether you play a video game, play a sport, hang out with friends, have some good conversations, talk to somebody, let them know what you're feeling inside. One thing, sometimes we as men, sometimes we keep things inside. Don't keep it inside. Talk about it. Talk about it with somebody you trust. There's many things you can do to try to get over things, but do things in a positive way. Do some positive things. Work out. Hit the gym. You don't have a gym membership? Then work out in your home. Do your push-ups, your sit-ups, whatever it is. You know, watch some TV. Read a good book. But before you act off those emotions, before you're thinking about getting back at somebody, before you use words to try to put down somebody, curse out somebody, stop and think. Whatever you say, whatever you do, you can never take it back. Just know that. You can never take it back. And you just have to prepare yourself for whatever may come after that. You don't want to do things where it's going to involve police. You don't want to do things where it involves you going down that deep dark tunnel where you really fall into a heavy depression. If it's sadness, get out with some friends, get some fresh air, take a jog, do something positive that will take your mind off of it. Sometimes you got to do some charity work. Do something that's going to benefit somebody else. Because once you do good deeds, you'll feel better about yourself. Trust and believe. Trust and believe. I mean, we all been there. We all been there. But you have to come to a point in your life that you want to be able to grow. You want to do better, be wiser, and then be able to help others as well. So if I'm speaking to you today, whatever it is, do not act out on your emotions. control it. Keep it under control. Keep it under control. Whatever it takes, that, that's positive at least. As I gave you the examples, try those. And you'll see that whatever you was upset at, whatever you were so sad about, whatever the case is, you will see that was something small. It's not that serious. Sometimes you gotta look at life like that. Certain things you may cry about, or be upset about. It's not that serious. So do what you gotta do. Just get out your emotions. Keep it under control. Pro-Verbs right here. I'm signing out. Hope it helps someone. All right. Peace.